Agents with the passive voice. Active and passive voice. Listen to the two sentences. How are they similar? How are they different?
A judge determined the final decision. The final decision was determined by a judge.
The two sentences have the same meaning, but they are formed differently. In this sentence, the writer uses the active voice. When we use the active voice, the agent is the subject of the sentence. It comes before the verb. In this sentence, the subject is the judge and the verb is determined. The agent is the person or thing that performs the action of the verb. The agent may also be called the doer of the action. The other sentence uses the passive voice to express the same idea. When we use the passive voice, the subject of the sentence is the receiver of the action. The receiver is the person or thing that is affected by the action of the verb. Notice that in a passive sentence, the agent comes after the verb. Agents with the passive voice. When we use the passive voice, we often use a by phrase, which includes the agent. A by phrase is simply a phrase that begins with the preposition by. Note that to form the passive voice, we use the verb be plus the past participle of the main verb. In this sentence, the writer uses the past of be and the past participle of the verb determine. Note that for regular verbs, the past participle ends in ed. In the passive voice, a phrase with by plus the agent completes the idea of a sentence. Read this example. In this sentence, the idea is not finished. Anyone might make a quilt, so the agent is not obvious. In this case, we need to include the agent in a by phrase so the meaning is complete. We can also use the passive voice with by plus an agent to give new, important, or surprising information. Read this example. In this sentence, the information that machines do the farm work is important. The point of the sentence is to make it clear how most of the work is done. In many passive sentences, we do not include the agent because it is obvious or unknown. Read this sentence. Who closed the road? We know that people closed the road, so it is not necessary to include the agent in this sentence. Therefore, the sentence does not have a by phrase. Why does this sentence not require a by phrase? In this example, it is also not necessary to include the phrase by someone because the agent is obvious or unknown. Listen to the passive sentence. Does it need a by phrase in order to be a complete idea?
The mail has already been delivered.
The sentence is complete. We do not need the by phrase because we know that the post office delivers the mail. The agent, or doer, is obvious.
The concert was performed.
This sentence has an incomplete meaning. The agent is not obvious because many people can perform a concert. We do not know who performed the concert, so we need to include the agent.
This picture was drawn.
This sentence is also incomplete. The agent is not obvious because almost anyone can draw a picture. We do not know who drew the picture, so we need to include the by phrase in order to make the meaning complete.
My car was repaired last week.
This sentence is complete. We do not need the by phrase because we know that mechanics repair cars. The agent is obvious.